What's going on, you guys? I'm back again with another Cisco Packet Tracer lab. And as you can see, I already have a lab built today. I will just be walking you guys through everything I configured. So what you guys are looking at right now is a fully redundant network. I configured a bunch of cool things like VLANs, trunking, multi-layer switch routing, DHCP, OSPF, and I also did a little spanning tree by assigning different root bridges for each VLAN. So I'm just gonna kind of walk you guys through the lab as a whole, and I'll probably make a video later rebuilding the lab from scratch so you can see how I did everything. So first, we're just going to start with the access layer switches. The configurations are pretty much identical. So if we do a show run here, the first thing I started with was creating the VLANs and assigning the access ports to the corresponding VLANs. So on this side right here, we have VLAN 10. Well, let me just do a show VLAN brief. So we have VLAN 10. You may be wondering why, if there's two VLANs, why isn't VLAN 20 over here? That's because it's not really necessary because we only have VLAN 10 PCs connected to this access switch, and it will be the complete opposite on this switch for VLAN 20. So the only VLAN really necessary for this access switch is VLAN 10 because those are the PCs directly connected to it. Now, if we do now I'm gonna show you guys the trunks I configured. We have two trunks going to each multi-layer switch. And as you can see, only VLAN 10 is allowed. You may be wondering why if there's two VLANs in this topology as a whole, and it's because it's not necessary. There will be no VLAN 20 traffic running across these trunks to the multi-layer switches. And I'm not showing you switch 20 because it's pretty much identical, just reversed. Instead of VLAN 10, we're using VLAN 20. So these two trunk ports, trunk links connect to our multi-layer switches where routing takes place. So now we will go to one of our multi-layer switches. We'll just stay on this side since this is where we've been working so far. And we'll do a show. We'll do a show VLAN brief. And as you can see on the multi-layer switches, we have VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 configured, but no actual interfaces on these multi-layer switches because we have no VLAN 10 devices connected directly to the multi-layer switches. So it's not necessary. We just have to make sure VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 are present so the actual trunking / routing can take place on these multi-layer switches. Now, if we go to check the trunks on our multi-layer switches, it's kind of the same theme for this interface fast Ethernet 01 you see is 10. It matches the same as this one right here, the access switch. This is the link connecting these two. And as you see, fast Ethernet 03, which connects to switch 2. And like I said before, only VLAN 20 is needed on the link between the access layer switch to the two multi-layer switches. So it just matches the same here. But this is something new. If we look on fast Ethernet 02, which is connected to the other multi-layer switch, we have both VLANs present. And this is necessary because both VLANs, they'll be handling traffic for both VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. These are distribution, or I want to say distribution switches. So all VLANs must be present on these multi-layer switches. And that's why this link between the two have both VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. All right, what else do I want to show you guys? We'll do a show IP interface brief, and we can look at the interfaces configured. We can look at the interfaces configured for both VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. For VLAN 10, the has an IP address of 10.0.0.2, and for VLAN 20, you can see the IP address here, 10.2.0.2. Even though this is the IP address for the interface, the PCs actually don't use these IP addresses at all. They use the virtual interface, and we'll get there shortly. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna just do a quick show IP interface brief on multi-layer switch 20. And as you can see, the actual interfaces for each VLAN is 10.0.0.3 and 2.0.3. So it's different. They both have two different IP addresses in the same network in these two networks here, but the PCs actually do not communicate with these physical IP addresses that are attached to VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. They use a virtual IP address. I can't think of the command to actually show you, so I'm gonna just do a show run and show you where I configured HSSRP. Give me 1 second, it's in here somewhere. Yeah, as you can see here, when we configured, when we're in interface config mode for VLAN 10 and VLAN 20, we added a virtual IP address, which is 10.2.0.1. And this is also the same on multi-layer switch 10. They both share the same virtual IP address. So basically what this is doing is all the PCs, this right here, what I have highlighted, is their default gateway. So since both multi-layer switches share the same virtual IP address, let's say multi-layer switch shuts down for some reason. Now the traffic from VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 still have an opportunity to make it out of the network through the redundant multi-layer switch of the other one. So both both networks will have the opportunity to do this. Multi-layer switch 1 or 10 can route VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 traffic, and also multi-layer switch 20 can route VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 traffic. So that is why we configure the virtual IP address. And that kind of makes a network more redundant and, resilient against, potential outages. All right. What else do I want to show you guys? We also configured OSPF. The multi-layer switches in router 2 here are all neighbors, and we can do a show IP OSPF neighbors. And as you can see, they're all in a full state. They're all sharing routes. I'll just show you guys the OSPF routes in the routing table. As you can see, multi-layer switch 20 can reach this link over here through both 10.0.0.2 and also through this link right here, 20.0.0.2. And it can also reach 12.0.0./30, which is the link to the DHCP server through R2. And the routes are pretty much identical to multi-layer switch 10. So I'm not going to show you guys that. And just the last thing I'll show you that I configured is DHCP. And I actually wanted an external DHCP server so I can work on using IP helper address. And so we configured IP helper address on the two multi-layer switches, which then sends the packets to the DHCP packets to R2 to then send to the DHCP server, and I can send it back, and our PCs can get their IP addresses via DHCP. I'm gonna just do so run, and you can see pretty much the only configs here are the DHCP ones. First, I excluded the IP address ranges 1 through 10 just in case we wanted to add some more devices statically. And as you can see, the two pools for the two networks, which aligns with VLAN 10 and VLAN 20, the networks right here. And as you can see, the default router is set to give to the PCs. And as you can see here, the default router will be the virtual IP addresses that the two multi-layer switches share. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the configurations. I did want to show you guys that DHCP is working fine. I think I already did it on this PC. Does it have IP address? Yes, it does. I'm not sure if this one has one yet, though. As you see, I was having a little issues earlier, but I think I figured out what it was. I don't think this port right here is in VLAN 20 yet. It's not, so let me go ahead and add it. VLAN 20. And if we run this configure, if you run this again, run this command again, you should be able to receive an IP address now. Try one more time. Okay, that's weird. Why is it failing? Well, this is turning into a troubleshooting lab. VLAN 20, VLAN 20, why can't we get an IP address though? Trying the same thing again. I don't know why it didn't work. As you can see, I still run into some problems every day, and that's where I work on my troubleshooting skills. Had no idea why that didn't work the first 3 times, but as you can see here, PC4 now has an IP address 10.2.0.14, which is in the right VLAN, and yeah, it has that virtual IP address for the default gateway. And let's try one over here for VLAN 10, and I will let you guys go for the day. What port is this? I think it's already in the VLAN. Let me check. Yep. So let's run this right here, see if we can get an IP address on the first time. Boom, just like that, 10.0.0.11. So DHCP is working fine. Now let's see if we have connectivity between the two VLANs. What it was, 10.2.0.14. Let's see if we can ping. You patiently wait. Okay, so there is communication between the two VLANs as well. So that's pretty much it for the network I configured. I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys learned something. And I definitely will make a video, remaking the same network so you can kind of see me walk through the configurations, any troubleshooting I may have to do along the way. And, maybe you can learn a thing or two. Hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you next time. Peace.